Machine learning has become an enabling technology in nearly every industry on the planet. There is also a lot of confusion over what machine learning can be applied to, whether that's to improve a product or create something new. In this video, we'll be talking to DornerWorks machine learning engineer David Norwood. Along with machine learning, David is an expert in radio frequency, or RF, and radar systems.
I think it's really interesting to look at those data sets and to see how machine learning can be applied. There's a lot of DSP techniques that can easily be used to solve problems, but I think it's interesting to look at those techniques as a means to find key features to then be applied in a machine learning model. So I think it's really interesting that area of machine learning and that domain.
What can you tell me about using machine learning to create innovative products?
I would say that a machine learning process in general starts with a data set. So a machine learning platform is going to help someone or user look at that data set and find value from within it, and then apply that value to whatever their problem may be, right? They can apply, that could be, depending on whatever the application or market is, that value can be applied accordingly. When you consider, human voice, for example, it's difficult to take some non-stationary waveform and visually look at it and write code around that. It's much easier to upload that into a platform, visualize, learn, and then deploy whatever that output is to a device.
What makes a quality machine learning platform?
So a quality machine learning platform to me is one that wraps the process together as much as possible, the machine learning process. So, uploading the data set of interest, post-processing that data set, with different filters and transformations, visualizing that data, trying to find where things are separable, and then training that data set, if you're using a neural network, for example, testing, and then finally deploying to an end device. So, really being able to easily get through that entire machine learning process, that's to me the sign of a good quality machine learning platform.
What are some of the challenges to developing good machine learning systems?
So I would say that machine learning is new. So there's a lot of the algorithm developers and embedded engineers, to me, are kind of starting to integrate for the first time, looking at putting a model on a device. I'm not going to say it's easy, but there's typically in academia, the developers create models, find inferences within data sets, but then trying to put that on a device that's got different processors, different memory sizes. That can get really complicated, and not everybody understands what each other is doing. So I think that's the main challenge, is to overcome any assumptions and have a clear communications channel when you're working together.
How does DornerWorks help customers implement machine learning systems?
So I would say, first explaining the machine learning process, what all is involved, all those steps, but also making sure that we're all looking at the problem through the same set of lens, and trying to make sure we're reaching that same goal. So really trying to clear any hurdles, with the customer, to make sure that they've got any assumptions cleared before we start going through that process. Because sometimes it's easy to think of machine learning as this just magic black box that'll solve all your problems, but there are other non-technical things that kind of get in the way, that I feel customers need to be aware of. How that value is going to be applied in the end. Just because you can make some inference doesn't mean that that's going to solve a problem or make things better. So really making sure that we're all looking at the same end goal and what that end goal is, and looking through it through the same lens.